Hello, my name is Lucy Ann Holmes and I'm the author of 50 Ways to Find a Lover and The Imperfect Girlfriend. Today we're here in the heart of Bloomsbury, which has been home to literary legends such as Virginia Woolf and E.M. Forster, and we're at the Radisson, Edwardian, Bloomsbury Street Hotel. Now, the idea to film some book bites in this amazing egg chair was inspired not only by this amazing literary heritage of the area, but also just by a communal desire to talk about and share some of our favourite books with you. The Bloomsbury Group was a group of influential writers, philosophers, intellectuals and artists who lived and worked here in Bloomsbury in the early part of the 20th century. Now, as a homage to the great impact that the Bloomsbury Group had on literature and thinking, the Radisson Edwardian Bloomsbury Street Hotel has devoted an entire wall to one of their founding members, Virginia Woolf. Now, Virginia Woolf is credited with having written one of the best English language novels of all time, Mrs Dalloway. It was written in 1925 and it follows Clarissa Dalloway, this elegant and vivacious lady, as she prepares for a dinner party that evening. And she remembers people she's loved before. We meet Clarissa right at the start of the story. Mrs Dalloway said she would buy the flowers herself. But Lucy had her work cut out for her. The doors would be taken off their hinges, Rumpelmayer's men were coming, and then, thought Clarissa Dalloway, what a morning. Fresh, as if issued to children on a beach. What a lark! What a plunge! For so it had always seemed to her when, with a little squeak of the hinges, which she could hear now, she had burst open the French windows and plunged at Boughton into the open air. How fresh, how calm. Stiller than this, of course. The air was in the early morning, like the flap of a wave, the kiss of a wave, chill and sharp, and yet, for a girl of 18 as she was then, solemn, feeling as she did, standing there at the open window, that something awful was about to happen. Looking at the flowers, at the trees, with the smoke winding off them and the rooks rising, falling, standing and looking until Peter Walsh said, "Musing among the vegetables." Was that it? "I prefer men to cauliflowers." Was that it? He must have said it at breakfast one morning when she had gone out onto the terrace. Peter Walsh. He would be back from India one of these days, June or July, she forgot which, for his letters were so awfully dull. It was his sayings one remembered, his eyes, his pocket knife, his smile, his grumpiness. And when millions of things had utterly vanished, how strange it was, a few sayings like this about cabbages. She stiffened a little on the curb, waiting for Dirtnell's van to pass. A charming woman, Scrope Purvis thought, knowing her as one does know people who live next door to one in Westminster. A touch of the bird about her, of the jay. Blue-green, light, vivacious, though she was over 50, and grown very white since her illness. There she perched, never seeing him, waiting to cross, very upright. For having lived in Westminster, how many years now? Over 20. One feels even in the midst of the traffic, or waking at night, Clarissa was positive, a particular hush, a solemnity, an indescribable pause, a suspense, but that might be her heart affected, they said, by the influenza, before Big Ben strikes. There, out it boomed. First a warning, musical, then the hour, irrevocable. The leaden circles dissolved in the air. Such fools we are, she thought, crossing Victoria Street. For heaven only knows why one loves it so. How one sees it so, making it up, building it round one, tumbling it, creating it every moment afresh. But the veriest frumps, the most dejected of miseries sitting on doorsteps, drink their downfall, do the same. Can't be dealt with, she felt positive, by Acts of Parliament for that very reason. They love life. In people's eyes, in the swing, tramp and trudge, in the bellow and the uproar, the carriages, motor cars, omnibuses, vans, sandwich men shuffling and swinging, brass bands, barrel organs, in the triumph and the jingle and the strange high singing of some aeroplane overhead was what she loved. Life. London. This moment of June.